Brace yourself, horror lovers, because Stephen King's haunting tale, The Boogeyman, is getting a major makeover for the big screen. This spine-chilling adaptation, originally ordered by 20th Century Studios for Hulu, just got the green light for a theatrical release on June 2nd, 2023, and trust us, this one's going to be a wild ride.
The worst case, I wrote a book called The Stand.
It's very salient, yes.
After receiving overwhelmingly positive feedback from test screenings in December, executives couldn't resist the urge to unleash this terror on the big screen. Get ready to face your fears and follow one of King's earliest and most frightening stories as it's completely transformed for the cinema experience.
It was about a mutating flu virus.
2022 is already shaping up to be a massive year for King's back catalog, with major movie adaptations of Firestarter, Salem's Terrorized in 2023 when it arrives on Hulu. This film adaptation has been a long time coming, with a rocky production history that's left fans on the edge of their seats. But after all the ups and downs, this horror masterpiece is finally seeing the light of day with a theatrical release next year. It all started back in 2018 with A Quiet Place co-writers Scott Beck and Brian Woods attached to pen the screenplay. But the production seemed dead in the water after its cancellation in 2019 following Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox. However, the horror gods had other plans, and the film was revived back in 2021.
I am here with the author of the new novel, Billy Summers, Mr. Stephen King.
And the best part? Stephen King himself reportedly approved of the film after watching a screening. That's a huge deal for King fans, considering the author is known for being picky about his adaptations. So what's the deal with The Boogeyman? The original story from King's Night Shift collection is sparse in the plot, but packs a serious punch in the fear department. But fear not, director Rob Savage is on board to add some Sixth Sense-inspired flair and expand the storyline for the big screen. While details about the project are still scarce, we know that the movie will stay true to the story's main theme while taking it to the next level with even more scares. But what's the original story about? First introduced in Stephen King's iconic Night Shift anthology, The Boogeyman tells the creepy tale of a narrator who shares his haunting experiences with a cynical psychiatrist. The unsympathetic protagonist relives the pursuit of the boogeyman throughout his childhood and adulthood, ultimately leading to a shocking twist that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. The narrator describes the unsolved murders of his children, who all cried out about the boogeyman before their mysterious deaths.
I got about halfway through that book, and I got these people to Boulder, Colorado, and by that time, I had this huge cast of characters. There were 20 or 25.
But little does he know, the real horror is about to unfold when he discovers his own psychiatrist is actually the titular monster, ready to end his troubled life. This story is guaranteed to give you chills, and the upcoming movie adaptation will only amplify the suspense and thrills. This latest adaptation of King's iconic horror story will not only keep the story's central theme, but also expand on its scariest elements. The movie will follow a 16-year-old girl and her younger sister, who are grieving the loss of their mother. As they start to come to terms with their loss, the boogeyman starts to target them after their psychologist father has a terrifying encounter with a desperate patient in their home. It's up to the sisters and their father to join forces and fight the boogeyman before it's too late. With his latest project, he's about to bring all his creativity and scare factor to the table. This movie promises to be a thrilling and suspenseful thriller that will have you on the edge of your seat from start to finish.
3 weeks while I just went for long walks and tried to figure out what to do with the story. And the worst thing was, I was thinking, what if this thing never gets done? You talk
with an all-star cast featuring Chris Messina, Sophie Boogeyman, Marin Island, Madison Hu, and David Dastmalchian, this movie is shaping up to be a horror tour de force. And with production by the powerhouse team behind Stranger Things, 21 Lapses' Sean Levy, Dan Levine, and Dan Cohen, you know you're in for a wild ride.
King.
Well, I think maybe
Write this down, carve this in stone.
my favorite short story would be called Survivor Type, which was about a physician who gets
But wait, it gets even better. The movie promises to expand on King's original story, exploring the terror of the boogeyman across multiple generations. The psychological aspect of the movie sets it apart from other horror films, and fans are already speculating about what direction the movie will take. Will it be a twisty mystery in the vein of The Sixth Sense, or will it take a dark supernatural turn like Cape Fear? The synopsis of The Boogeyman hints at a mix of both, and fans are eager to see how these elements will play out on the big screen. As the psychologist's father desperately tries to protect his daughters from the boogeyman, he uncovers the twisted motives behind the monster's pursuit. Will he be able to outwit the boogeyman and save his family, or will he become the monster's next victim? The tension is palpable, and the stakes are high.
When you don't know what to do next, bring on the man with the gun. And I thought, well, what if somebody blows up about half of these troublesome people?
But here's the thing. The original story is so sad and depressing that it's hard to enjoy as a horror read. That's why Rob Savage, the director of The Boogeyman, is taking things to the next level. He is ready to change the game and bring the story to life in a way that will leave audiences on the edge of their seats. Think Pet Sematary meets The Sixth Sense with a twist of Cape Fear. That's the kind of ride you're in for with The Boogeyman.
I don't know what I'm going to do with these people. They've come to rest in this one place, and
Savage is taking a page from the 1989 classic Pet Sematary and adding his own twist to make The Boogeyman a cult classic. The film will use pitch black comedy and an offbeat tone to make the bleak source material work for the movie. He's changing all the right details while keeping the tone intact to bring you a horror movie like you've never seen before.
I try to get out there and I try to get 6 pages a day. So with a book like End of Watch, and when I'm working, I work every day.
The Boogeyman is on a mission to scare up a storm at the box office. Yes, you heard it right. The highly anticipated horror flick is ditching its streaming fate and hitting theaters with a vengeance on June 2nd. This is a move that is sure to send shivers down the spine of moviegoers everywhere. And why is this such big news, you ask? Well, recent horror films that made the jump from streaming to the big screen have been making waves and cashing in on their success. Take a look at Smile, which was originally intended for a Paramount Plus release, but instead grossed an impressive $216 million globally and was hailed as one of the best horror flicks of 2022. And it's not just Smile. Evil Dead Rise is also set to be a big hit after switching to a theatrical release and earning a world premiere at South by Southwest in March. It's no secret that horror films have been killing it at the box office lately. From Megan kicking off the year in style and making its way toward the $100 million mark, to low-budget horrors like Skinamarink making a killing relative to their budgets. It's a good time to be a horror movie right now. So with The Boogeyman switch to theaters, it's clear that the future is looking bright for the film. So gather your friends, pop some popcorn, and prepare to scream your lungs out because The Boogeyman is on his way to scare the daylights out of you. See you next time.